Welcome to Pretty Lies and Ugly Truths, where you can either die with the lie or
the truth will set you free.
I am the Alex E. Miller, and that voice of reason that you just heard was
Toya vegan Mommania.
And as we always do on Pretty Lies and Ugly Truths, we allow the guests to introduce themselves. You treat it like the first day of school, first day on the job. Tell us what we don't know, what we should know, what we need to know, et cetera, et cetera. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Yeah, what's up, man? This is John. Upgrade your sound on Instagram, and the one of the music I put music dot connector because that's kind of what I gave myself the label as lately.
For sure. What does that exactly mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, most definitely. So a lot of people, I've realized I became a source for a lot of people to gain access to other things within the music industry. So I work with a lot of independent artists, and I've been working with independent artists for the last 10 years. So sometimes they want to access like label executives, or they want to access like an artist, like a Little Durk or a Meek Mill or something like that, and kind of I could just build that bridge and connect the dot. Man, it might be a DJ, like a DJ Drama or somebody like that.
Right. So you the plug.
Yeah, pretty much. Music dot connected. That's what I consider.
Oh yeah, we call it that. I forgot. My bad. Yeah.
Music dot connected. I like that.
Excuse the kids in the background.
Now you good. That let us know. Hey, you're a father too.
Right.
The father first, man. Father first. I actually
first.
Just recently moved back to Miami to, make sure that I'm involved with my son 24/7. So
nice. That's how you do that. That's how you get your blessings right there.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Nice. So in a sense, it's kind of like a real staffing agency. You know what I'm saying, for people to come through and make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say inspired you to want to put that together? Or it seems like something you were already doing, like subconsciously, and what made you take it to the level like, you know what, let me make this a position and focus on this?
I think it just mainly came from my phone being nonstop, people calling it. And then I realized like they call it for so many different reasons. I still have a recording studio in Atlanta. So, that's one of the reasons, but just the access that I have to the industry, so I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna just give myself that label. And, it came from really just building bridges and connecting a lot of people. I've gotten artists signed that are doing music with Juice WRLD, and you know what I mean? Rest in peace to Juice WRLD, but just big deals, man. A lot of artists that I've worked with have gone and done some really amazing things. And, a lot of people look at it as like, dang, I didn't benefit from the deal, or, but I always look at it as like, hey man, the fact that I was able to build that bridge and you guys, something came from it.
Right.
That's amazing to me, and that's one thing that I enjoy and I love, in this position that I'm in.
Right. The title makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit. So you personally, had some interactions with Juice WRLD before he crossed over, I take it?
Not personally with him, but his team I've known for a pretty long time now. We've worked with his team really early on in their careers.
Okay, well, Bibby,
Yeah, with Bibby and like his whole camp, from G Money, which is his brother, and then Herb and just the whole Chicago gang. We were really we helped them with their early on career really deep. So
okay. So with father being first, how are you? I know you moved to Miami, so obviously you just made a huge move. I don't want to really call it a sacrifice, but
yeah,
it's kind of low key.
I mean, no, definitely I could say, we can call it a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because, I kind of felt that it was a sacrifice,
Right, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't want to like that. Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm a mother of 4, so I get it. Trust me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, besides move, what was it was it just really because you weren't close by? Like, what kind of really occurred in your life trying to be a father, trying to work, where you made that sacrifice?
Well, so I actually moved to Atlanta in 2017, and he was born in 2017.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he was born in Atlanta, and then he ended up moving to Miami about almost a year later.
Right.
And you know, I said, you know, he's still young. He won't remember the early stages, you
Yeah.
know. So I felt like it was okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
we can hear you, but
Okay.
your face went away.
All right, give me a second here. Yeah, I apologize.
There we go.
So yeah, so I felt like it was okay. Stop. Sorry. But I felt like at the time I felt like it was okay, you know, to say, you know, he won't really remember, so I'll take this time to just, you know, grind it out, you know, get things situated, and then, you know, once I'm in a position where I feel comfortable to come back, I'll come back.
That's what's up.
But then, you know, as time progressed and, you know, you become a father, and, you know, it's new, and you start to learn, like, from experience versus word of mouth or people telling you things, you know.
Right.
And then you start to understand the values and the importance of being there for them, no matter they're 1 month or 10 years old, you know.
Exactly.
You know, and just the joy that it brought to me being around him, you know, versus not being around him, you know. And I feel like making that sacrifice was a big step in the right way, because I feel like in business and just in everything that we're doing as entrepreneurs and wanting to pursue our dreams versus punching the clock, you know, there has to be structure, and life structure, you know, not only business structure, but life structure.
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, when you lay down to go to sleep, or, you know, you wrap up your day, like, this is what you come to, you know. And I chose myself to put it before the business and put it before being an entrepreneur and all of this stuff. And it taught me, like, okay, you know, I can still be a father full time,
right,
and still run business, you know. And
it was balance.
Yeah.
Balancing.
I haven't fully, I can't say I fully found the balance, because it's definitely still tough, you know, with just everything that's going on, and me not actually being in the city to touch the people and talk to them and, you know, see them firsthand. But I give all the credit to all the teams that I've built, you know, for everything that I do. And my teams are amazing, and I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without them. So, you know, I give all the credit to them, definitely.
That's what's up.
I mean,
So you got
they allow me to be here with my son 24/7.
And that's cool. I mean, to build a team where you can actually, like, dip off and handle that, not many people have that. Like, that's rare. You know what I'm saying? It's either all or nothing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up that you did that. You must be really good peoples to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
People don't care. You know what I'm saying? So
no, most definitely. You know, and I think it's you know, just having the right leadership, you know, and setting small goals and setting big goals, and, you know, as they're getting checked off, you know, the team believes in everything more, and you know, they see the vision, they see the big
build that
picture.
trust. Yeah.
Right. You know, so. But yeah, definitely. You know, the team has to be strong, and they have to believe in what you're doing, you know, in order for them to build that trust and keep things going even when you're not there.
So with that, with the time that you spend you know, when it comes to parenting. You know, we were speaking with Mosin, and he was talking about the music industry and the dark side of it, so to speak, as far as people putting on such a facade, and you know what I'm saying, and people being like, you know, characters, you know. And one thing he liked about it is the balance that you would see sometimes with DJ Khaled, where he'll show, you know, him spending time with his kids because it shows other people like, oh, okay, this is okay to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who would you say, was there anybody in the industry that you've seen, you know, that was very active, you know, in their kids' life that influenced you to be like, you know what, regardless of how much the grind gets me, I'm gonna make sure that I make that time for my son? I don't know if that's something you saw somewhere else.
I wouldn't say it really influenced me, because I think my influence came from the actual like feelings and emotions that I felt,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being without my kid.
Okay.
But definitely seeing the way some people move, and you know, I'll say this, Lil Boozy,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
he blew my mind. Like he blew
Right.
my mind one day. We were at a video shoot, and he pulled up with like a whole family. Like I was like, whoa. I'm like, yo, cousins, aunts, baby mamas, all the kids. I was
That's
like,
so funny.
wow. I was like, man, this is amazing, but it also shows like it's doable. You know what I mean? And my son wasn't
Yeah.
even born at the time, but you know, it amazed me because I was like, wow, this is definitely doable. You know, like you can have a career and you know, really pursue music and pursue,
Right.
you know, business and still be a father figure. And you know,
For
I
sure.
look at it. I look at it as something deeper. You know, the inspiration that you give your kids by, you know, showing them like, hey, look, daddy handles business, but he's also there for
Right.
you. You need a shoulder, or you know, you slip and fall. You know.
Right. How was your upbringing yourself as a kid?
I'm sorry.
Like, how was your upbringing for you as a kid?
For me, no father.
Right.
You know, I only had my mother, and you know, she had it was 5 kids in total.
Mm-hmm.
One passed as a child. I was the baby of the group.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, so one of the kids was actually taken away from her. Well,
Okay.
I learned later on that she actually gave up the rights because she was still young, and you know, she didn't have
Right.
her stuff together.
Right.
So you know, so coming up, like it was just mom, you know,
Right.
and you know, the humble beginnings, you know,
Mm-hmm.
seeing her struggle to make ends meet, you know, working late nights, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just all of that stuff, and you know, the experiences definitely
Yeah.
take effect, you know, and I feel like you have choices, you know, two
Right.
choices really. One, you're gonna let them affect you in a negative way, or you know, two, you know, you take them and turn them into a positive.
Right.
Hmm.
And sometimes people are just blessed to get that instinct. Because you'll
Oh
see
yeah,
people that have kids and they don't have it at all. You know what I mean? They're
uh,
like, I don't, you know what I mean? They keep doing them. You know what I mean? So you were
right,
definitely blessed with the instinct. You know, you didn't get to see it yourself, but it came within you, and that's what's up.
right.
And your son is gonna be like he's gonna live a good life. That's gonna be dope for him to grow up.
Man, he has no idea the
I
joy,
know.
you know, that it brings me to be able to give him the life that he has right now.
Right, right.
And you know, it ain't even all that, you know. But one thing that I've learned is like, you know, they don't look at things like we look at them,
I don't
you
care
know.
about none of that.
Yeah, they don't care like by far. And
Yeah.
something that kind of like, you know, obviously if you're in that position, you're gonna do it regardless of what anybody says or
Of
thinks. But
course.
you know, when Offset got his daughter the
Yeah.
Birkin bag,
Yeah.
you know, like I kind of was reading the backlash that they got, you know, and they were like, oh, she rather play with the box than, you know, actually have a purse.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's true, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, you know, it's nobody's business, or, you know, what it is that they get their
Yeah.
daughter, or, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That
but
is
just
no
to see that.
it's
I was very
nobody's
surprised.
business. But Cardi had a good point. Y'all would talk about me if I would have got her like anything less. You know what I'm saying? And she walk around with a Birkin.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all
Right.
ass just always have a fucking problem for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I know the kids around. I'm sorry.
Oh, so
So
dangerous.
but y'all just have a problem for real. You know what I mean? So I felt around that. Like either way, they're gonna talk about it. And like you said, first thing first is your business. Like
Exactly.
that's nobody's concern. But people ain't got nothing better to
Yeah,
do.
people always, especially on the internet, they're always gonna have their 2 cents.
Sometimes I think it's like robots on there. Like this can't be humans sitting in the house.
I
You
think
Trolling. They
know,
are. There's
sometimes
no
like
it's
way.
the kids who they ain't know how to say it to anybody's face. You know what I'm saying, in the hallway. So they finally found a way
It's
to
some
just to be
old
able to say it.
yo.
You know what I'm saying? So they troll on the internet.
It's
Because in real
yeah.
life, I don't think they have the balls to say stuff like that.
Lately, I've caught myself doing this a lot where, I wanna voice my opinion on things on the internet,
mm,
but I just feel like, you know,
mm-hmm.
the internet right now can make you or break you.
It
And
sure
you
can.
can get so much backlash off of
Facts.
saying the nicest thing,
Facts.
and then even if you say like the worst thing, like it can even get worse than that. So
That's it comes with like true. You got to be hardcore true with yourself and just know yourself because because like I talk a lot on the internet. And for my first time, I had somebody coming on being negative the other day, and they was calling me grandma. They was saying that, and I knew it had to be somebody that knew me because I was like, I don't even look old. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You
definitely
gotta
not.
know me to know I'm old. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But I
right.
mean, they put the wheelchair emojis and everything. They went all out.
Holy shit.
But I kind of enjoyed it because I hadn't got that yet, and it was like,
Yeah.
it just it interests me more than hurts me. It's like, dang, y'all really like doing that? Like it's weird a little, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah,
No, and I think it goes back to what Alex said. Like, it's people that won't tell you to your face,
nah,
and they can definitely hide behind the camera, and but
right,
the good thing is that you got them watching, regardless
right.
of whatever.
That's
Because
what I told.
we go by views, so keep
I
watching.
told them.
Yeah.
I said, man, listen, you went all the way to my old videos. You gotta love me. Like, don't like. Let's just hug it out at this point.
Yeah,
You
You
know what I
living
mean?
yeah.
rent
You
free
know.
in their head.
But stay tuned, because these views count. So stay tuned.
Hey, keep rolling. Keep it
So,
rolling.
with what you were speaking about with Offset, I seen that photos of you and P from QC and stuff like that, and you spoke of being able to help people get connected to like record labels and stuff like that. If you wouldn't mind just expound on the relationship with you and QC and just anybody else that you've been able to develop relationships with in the industry that kind of that you've been able to usher other people into.
Yeah. So I mean, my relationship with QC came through helping them do releases very early on. And it was Rich the Kid that kind of brought us through the door.
Okay.
Rich the Kid, I reached out to just, like on Instagram. And it was very early on in his career. And I remember, going to pick him up. He didn't even have a car at the time.
Wow.
And, we took him to get his mixtape. Like when they drop a mix, back in the day, they used to drop a mixtape. They used to press it up on a CD. And, to have the little slip inside with the clear cover on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and picked those up, and we went back to the studio, and we ended up helping him bag some of them up. It was during like A3C weekend or something like that. And, from there, the relationship built to, meeting P, meeting Coach K, and then, obviously, being introduced to the Migos, and then they were signing Young Greatness at the time. They had OG Mako. Who else? They had Skipper the Flipper. And, we just kind of built a relationship with them and started helping them market their artists and do world premieres and stuff for them on different platforms. And, the relationship stayed very solid. And it went all the way up to Lil Baby, like when Lil Baby started dropping with them, we started working with Lil Baby like very early on. And, it happened like that with a lot of artists. YFN Lucci, I was blessed to meet Fly from TIG, which is the owner of TIG. Who else? D from Bases Loaded, Trav from NEA, Eastside Jody, which owns 367. Then it goes on to many of the major labels, but with the majors and those type of companies, everybody switches. It switches so much. Like
musical chairs in the offices.
Yeah, definitely musical chairs. And I'll just give you one of the people that inspired me a lot because of the accomplishments that she made was a lady named Kirdis. And, it was a real honor to meet her because she was working with Warner Brothers at the time. And, she went from Warner Brothers, she teamed up with L.A. Reid and started Hitco. And then from Hitco, she went to Amazon Music. So now she's the head of marketing for Amazon Music. And yeah, so you never know where these relationships can take you, or where these people are going to go within their own career. So fast forward to today, the relationships are so strong between YouTube, Amazon, the independent platforms, the record labels, so it's amazing. It's definitely an amazing feeling. And it just comes from the network and just staying true to yourself. And that's one thing I feel like the industry kind of doesn't show, but is very influenced by, is people that are really staying true to themselves. Yeah, you got the people that I want to say that they could do things but they really can't, in the industry. And then you got the real people that are moving the pieces, on the board.
You think the streaming service is about to co-opt the industry? I kind of feel that way at times. Like they're about to just pretty much co-opt it because, at the end of the day,
I definitely feel like they're in a position to corner the market. And when I say market, I really mean on the label side of things, the way things work with record labels. Obviously your three majors, your Universal, Sony, and Warner, they're always gonna be a big staple. But I even feel like, they're in a position to worry. Because someone like YouTube, and it's funny because I was literally just pointing this out and discussing this with my nieces that are 19 and 16, and they've been watching YouTube for as long as they can remember.
Right.
We were looking at the view count on their favorite artists, and they're into K-pop. And I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar with that, but it's Korean hip hop or Korean pop. And the kids are doing billions of views. Right. And they were so intrigued by, the view count. And I said, well, that's cool, but imagine YouTube. Imagine where YouTube is. They actually those are billions of views on their platform. It's cool for the artist, but the views on their platform is something to really look at.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
The artist stuff is cool, but now imagine you sitting back and you're like, yeah, we got 2.2 billion views here, 1 billion views there, another 100 million views here, and it's wow, it's something that it's a platform that you know, I was explaining to them, like, you know, people, like, even them, you know, they're young. They were a part of the group that, you know, got them views to 1 billion. You know,
Yeah.
they weren't a part of the group that built the platform to get 1 billion views.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I mean? I was telling them, like,
Yeah.
you guys need to think of being on the other side of the fence. You know, imagine, you know, being an executive at YouTube and
Wow.
understanding, like, our platform has trillions of views. You know, and then that's way bigger than someone getting 1 billion views.
Well, we
You know.
need you to start making a class for the culture, because
Yeah, this some
none of
real
us take it
masterclass shit.
I got 4 kids. I feel horrible. I'm like, oh God. Dang, is that
No,
how
but you know,
supposed
I
to
mean,
explain
that comes from the background. You know, like, I was a part of a platform very early on, a streaming platform,
Right.
and
Okay.
you know, we were doing over 2 billion views at the time where I kind of parted ways, and you know, like, that's always been my understanding from then. You know, it was like, wow, like. And then YouTube actually recently released a lot of technology that we wanted to implement for artists, and YouTube actually did it. And you know, so when, you know, just to thoroughly, like, answer your question, like, I do believe that they are gonna take over at some point, and I feel like they already are. If you look at Drake, he's signed to Apple Music.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a no-brainer. Like, when they came to him with a check, like, why would you sign to a record label when you can sign to the first $1 trillion company that has the catalog of music, you know, that's endless, and it's never gonna stop.
Never gonna stop.
It's like I think he licensing the
When
content.
we getting rid of Apple, never. That's never going.
Kind of like with Chance. I think Chance, like with Chance, I think he licensed the content. You can license it to those platforms. You know,
oh yeah, most definitely, because you know, we're in a time of innovation,
Right.
and at this in this time, like, you know, if you can innovate it, man, like, that's what really counts. Because who would have thought that, like, let's say, for example, the iPhones, right? No one knows what's gonna come after this, but you know, Apple got something up their sleeve to keep us right.
You know for a fact Apple's not going nowhere as a point.
Exactly.
I don't care what they make. They can remake a phone like the Jordans. They ain't going nowhere, man.
You about to get them an idea.
Listen, that's it.
The retro Apple.
Because I'm still stuck on the Drake move you just told me about. I'm stuck right there. Like, still, I'm like, what? Like,
yeah.
Boy, that was a move, man. Are you serious? Like,
yeah, and I believe they gave him like $19 million.
It wouldn't
like,
even matter because you know that's a move.
Even...
That's a power move, man. Like, who even? That's why I like Drake. I really like Drake for real. Cause like, you gotta be so smart to make a move like that for real.
Oh yeah,
you gotta know some people, cause like that's real. Apple Music is not going nowhere. Now a record label, that's a possibility. Something might happen.
Yeah.
See, I mean, it's funny how she's saying that, right? She's literally her way of thinking like that. That's the thing that I think the industry is kind of scared of, because she's like literally like she just uncovered so much in that one statement. In that one statement, she's like, "Oh wow, a label can go here." She's like, "But this is where, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like."
Well, see, I think where they hold the staple in music over the streaming platforms is on the publishing.
Okay.
You know, like, even though the artist can go do a deal or stay independent with YouTube, right? Like, let's say, for example, you know you're gonna get your royalties through YouTube. You could get your distribution deal and do all those things. Right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to cutting a check and kind of opening that network and the resources for you to like progress as an artist, you need to do a deal with them. And they're not going to do a deal with you unless you give up some publishing. And if you own the publishing, then, you know, now, hey, come on, stop. I apologize.
No, you're
But
right.
now
He's like, I got shot. Hold on, wait a minute.
they're trying to take me out over here. But yeah, so you know, I feel like owning that publishing, they're always gonna have the upper hand over the streaming platforms. Now, when the platforms start to, and I was told that they're starting to do this already, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me to it. Matt might want to do a little bit of research.
Pretty lies, ugly truths. Here we go.
but so I was told that these companies are building their own music. So they're going and paying a Drake for a verse and going to pay Wheezy or a Turbo for a beat. And they're putting that song together themselves and then streaming it on their platform.
So my cousin, I got a cousin, right? James, my cousin James, shout out to him. He got a podcast too. And he literally foresaw this like 3-4 years ago. We were at a restaurant and he told me, he said literally, and it's so funny we talk about Drake. He said, where the music industry going, he said it's going to be like Coca-Cola presents If You're Reading This Is Too Late. He said, because all these brands, they got the money to where they can literally go to the acts and pay them, you know what I'm saying, and pretty much license their content and release it and kind of sponsor it like that. And you know who should do that as well, if they not already have thought of it? All the girls that are on OnlyFans.
Right.
All those brands, why don't you go to the girls who are on OnlyFans right now, cut them a check, and then literally like sponsor their platform? You know what I'm saying? Sponsor, because if somebody's watching a girl on OnlyFans and she's like literally wearing some stuff that they got coming out next, it's the same thing that they about to do with the music industry, because people are realizing like, oh snap, the advertisers, we the ones that's really, you know, keeping this thing going anyway.
Right.
You know? Yeah. We just need somewhere to put it out to the public, so that way people are still seeing the talent and still seeing our logo.
Right. So I literally just read today that one of the Disney stars created an OnlyFans, and she made $1 million in 24 hours.
Listen.
That's crazy, right? $1 million in 24 hours. She broke a record for OnlyFans right now.
So what did she do on her OnlyFans?
Well, I didn't even like really go into detail on it. Like I just saw
you were like, I just seen
yeah, because you know, like I think OnlyFans is cool, you know, for what it is, but you know, going to what you were talking about, when it comes to advertising, and I learned this through promoting hip hop so heavily, people like Coca-Cola, they'll avoid certain content.
Of course. Yeah.
So let's say, you know, the girl is wearing lingerie and, you know, it says pink on it. You know, that's a brand that Coca-Cola may not want to be associated with, you know, because they promote sexual content or, you know what I mean? So, but I feel like, you know, people like P, you know, from QC, like they kind of find a way to build around those brands. And that's why Lil Yachty was able to do a Sprite commercial with LeBron James, and he was able to promote with Target and stuff like that. But the content had to be different.
Of course.
You know,
so come in as like him rapping what he want to rap about, right? Is that what
exactly. Like, I mean, you know, they had to build content around that.
Yeah,
like,
you can't control that in OnlyFans, so therefore it's like no business there. That's their business. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, OnlyFans, I mean, you know, it's a subscription-based platform. So, you know, I feel like, you know, things that can happen are like personal relationships. So now, you know, and it's like today, you know,
Yeah,
you got to innovate, you know, and
for sure.
you know, when you reach out to brands and say, hey, you know, my OnlyFans did $1 million in 24 hours, you know, like,
What's up?
you know, hey, let's promote,
Something.
you know, your new lubrication or your new condom or, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Things that revolve around that
Like
content.
that.
Like,
That's
hey, like,
how
let
it
me
makes sense.
promote Pornhub on here or, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like
Right.
that. But it's definitely possible. You know, I don't know if you'll get a Coca-Cola, but.
Nah. I think that, Alex, I hope that was just an example. No, I'm just I know it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
like,
yeah, I would say, but what he was saying, yeah, them companies like that, I think, yeah, like the contraceptive brands, like Lifestyle and stuff
yeah,
like that.
because
That
it's
does make
definitely
sense
still a business. And OnlyFans is not a business. You know, it's not like they're not a business. Why they're not, but they're definitely in their own lane. It's a different type of lane.
Right,
That.
definitely.
So yeah, then
Definitely.
the commercial.
They found their niche, you know, I feel like.
Right.
You know, they found their niche and how they're gonna make money and how they're gonna keep their users coming back. Because when it comes to a platform, that's what you have to do. You have to find the reason for the people to keep coming back and
Exactly.
obviously your business model.
Exactly. For sure.
His little
Hey,
boys
you
over here.
definitely you can see, man, you like a machine. Like you able to still parent, but the business acumen is like there to where it's like the ideas, like the gears just be churning in like real time. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
so
man.
you can
Like,
see.
you know, today, sometimes if I don't get too much sleep during the night, you know, I'll sleep with my son during the day. And today my mind was such in a weird place when I laid down with him because it was literally like I was not sleeping. Like
Right.
I was up, my mind was going, and I got out of bed like, okay, I got to do this. All this stuff still has to get done.
Listen,
And
I
here
know.
I am.
I think I had that day today too. Shit. I mean, that's exactly how it went for me. What do you say about your kids being in the industry? Like, is that how would you feel about it?
Well, you know, it's funny that you asked me that because I just told his uncle like 3 days ago, like, you know, all their kids are in sports. You know, all his cousins and, you know, everybody's in sports. They got them in football. They putting them in baseball when the season opens up after COVID and all this stuff. And I said, man, I think I'm going to get my son into music.
That's dope.
You know, like I think, you know, it's just a no-brainer. Like, you know, right now he's young. He likes dinosaurs and cars. So, you know, but music is such a universal language that, you know, he has the music that he listens to. We get in the car,
They're gonna listen to that beat and he gonna be
right. When we get in the car, he wants to listen to I Like to Move It, and he wants to listen to a Mighty King, you know, from the Lion King.
Right.
You know, so you know, I said when he starts, you know, like getting a little bit older, like I have a whole studio already, you know, so I just bringing him around, like showing him the footage of him as a baby, like when we were building it, you know, he was sitting on the table and playing with his toys and, you know, and then now I can say, hey, look, well, you know, here's your piano, and, you know, like just go in, like create, you know, like, and if he likes it, he likes it. And if he doesn't, like, I'm all about letting him just, you know, find his lane and letting him do what he wants. But one thing that he will understand is, you know, the entrepreneurship and this life that we live, you know. I think that's something that I didn't learn as a kid. I didn't learn it in school. And it took me 10 to 12 years of just experience to really lock it down and say, okay, this is, you know, this is what I want. This is what I want to do.
Wow. That's what's up, man. I think like with Diaz, I've known Diaz long enough, you know what I'm saying, to where like his son when he was younger. And as long as I've known him, every time I've seen him, Diaz has been wearing a shirt for his own brand. So it's just kind of like, I was telling him a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, man, your kid's gonna be able to grow up and say like, you know, my pops always was like doing his own thing. And it's just kind of like to think to like, damn, like they're seeing that. I've seen it, you know what I'm saying, the past umpteen, you know, years, but they gonna see it from like being like yay high to like growing up. So in their mind, it's already like indoctrinated. Like, I don't got to clock in for nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I can kind of do this on my own because I seen my pops getting it that way. So you saying that with the entrepreneurship thing, it's going to be interesting.
Like they say, kids don't listen to us; they watch us.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly.
It's very true. Like very true. Okay, they don't.
You know, she done had some experience.
But when they said that to me, I was like, dang, you know, it cuts deep though too, because like every day now of my life, I gotta worry about how I move and not what I say. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Mimicking the kids, mimicking like them little parrot bird, like for real. Like it's crazy because
Everything.
your moves more than what you say. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's all it is. So it's gonna come natural, or like you said, either way it goes, him just learning how to be a boss is gonna be in him.
Yeah. And
Regardless.
I think that's for me is like the most important thing because um, you know that stuff is taught. You know, like you can get trained to manage a company. You
Right.
know, you can go to school and be educated on business and you know how to run a Fortune 500 company and stuff like that.
Right.
Now the one thing that we can't put in them is the willpower to get up every day and do it. You know, so that's one thing that I just hope comes natural to him, and it's something that's hereditary from me to him.
Right.
There we go. There we go.
Take this if nothing else.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, talk about your app real quick.
Oh yeah,
Because that's something
definitely,
he's gonna
man.
see you in the tech space early too. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate you for bringing that up too, man, because it didn't even cross my mind to talk about it. But we're just about ready to launch.
Okay.
The app is called Stugo, and it stands for Studios on the Go.
Okay.
And we're basically going to be the bridge between creatives and studios, no matter where you go in the world. So if, you know, let's say an artist gets booked in Europe and they're like, well, them or their manager or, you know, anyone that their label, whatever it is, needs to find them a studio, they can go in and, you know, just open the app, put in the location, and it'll show them every recording studio, give them ratings, give them pictures, and then it'll allow them to book the studio from the app.
Bro,
Yeah.
I just seen somebody on IG the other day, like a more famous person, and they were like, "Yo, like where a studio at? We're out of town." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody like coming up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Where a studio at? You know, in the area, you know, just putting it out there so someone could tell. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy.
so the thing is that, you know, being that, you know, I come from that background on the technology side as well. You know, the initial idea was based on recording studios. So the CEO of the company is my partner, Jan. Shout out to him. He, you know, he brought me the idea very early on before the app was even on the App Store. And, you know, I thought it was an amazing idea. And I told him, I said, look, you know, if you want me to be a part of this, the only way I'll do is if you allow me to invest in it and become a part owner.
Right.
And he said, yeah. He said, cool, like I'll do it. And I ended up investing in the company, and I kind of changed the way he wanted to do things a little. From focusing solely on recording studios to every category of studio available. Right. So not only can you find recording studios, but you can find studio space, film studios, art studios, yoga studios, dance studios, like pottery. Just every type of studio that you can think of is going to be available on this platform.
Bro, you like a true, like you got that venture capitalist type mindset.
Hey man, I try, man.
I see it.
I gotta say, like,
yeah. I be doing that to people. I can't help that. Like when I hear somebody talk about something they're doing or they're doing something. Like when I brought up my cousin James, his podcast with my homeboy Rich. There's the One Nation radio podcast. Like they be talking about wrestling. I'm like, hey, a lot of the stuff y'all speak of that's going on in the Black community of sports, that's a whole nother podcast. And in my mind be like, I get to my millions before they get, I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and fund that. Let me, you know what I'm saying? I be thinking that same way. You make me feel better about myself because sometimes I be like, damn, man, I'm always.
No, because, you know, I think, you know, sometimes like we'll give away the sauce and, you know, like you see the plate just looking so good, like, damn, like, man, you know, and really, like, you know, I ain't got nothing. I didn't even get no parts. You know? And after it happened so many times, you know what I mean? It's not jealousy or envy or nothing like that. It's more so just like, hey, like, you know, let me put the sauce on what I got going on. You know, and let me. It's like these recipes. You know, Coke ain't never gonna give out their recipe. McDonald's ain't never giving out their recipes.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's simple as that. Like, that's the best way to put it.
For sure.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Oh, you know, one last thing. I'm sorry for you. You spoke of early interactions with Lil Baby, with QC and stuff like that. And it's, you know, he's only been rapping for a couple of years. Did you see in him what the world is seeing right now that early? Or is it something that you were like, man, I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't know it was going to be as big as it is?
I mean, definitely that. I definitely had faith in the music because the way P and Coach K present the music to us for all their artists, they would sit us in the studio and they would make us listen to the project from top to bottom. Like, they wouldn't skip a track, you know what I mean? They don't ask no opinions or nothing. Like, they just literally keep running through the music.
Right.
So, you know, I definitely heard the you know, the melodies, you know, the bars, you know, the actual, like, you know, the emotion behind the music, you know, I heard
the
it
value
all.
in it. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, damn, well, you know, I've seen it many times and I've seen it become very successful and I've seen it, you know, not go anywhere. So, I kind of put myself in a position where I don't really judge it because today, you know, it's more about having your core fan base and then giving them the reasons to come back and feeding them content. Like, it's all about the content today. You know, and no content should be wasted in a hard drive if it's, you know, video footage or you know, music that's recorded. Like, the more you put out, the more chances you have at building, you know, that fan base that's going to bring each video $5 a month, you know, and that $5 a month times, you know, 1,000 videos, you know, that's 5,000 a month. Like, you don't even got to really go punch a clock no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just off of views, you know. I always look at this kid, Ryan, this kid that my son watches. He reviews toys. The kid makes $20+ million a year off of YouTube. What? Yes. So that's why I say, like, you know, today when it comes to the music, it's all about just building that core fan base. You know, like, Drake's fans are not going nowhere. You know, he got them. Unless he comes out and he does something really, really, like, messed up, like, they are not going nowhere.
Right.
And I feel like every individual artist is starting to build that. So, like, as long as you're innovating as an artist and you continue to give them different things, you'll never fail.
Right.
Whether you're Drake size or you're, you know, a million fans in.
Right.
You know, that million, or let's say even 10,000 fans. You know, 10,000 fans spending $20 with you. You know how much money you can make off of that?
Exactly.
You know, so I feel like that's more so what it's about today. But you know, definitely, like, Lil Baby is, I mean, way bigger than I could have imagined him being, you know. Like, just off of listening to his music and sitting in the studio. Like, you know, and I didn't judge it, you know, I didn't judge it. But seeing where he is today,
It's dope.
it's definitely amazing. You know,
Yeah, to
it's
watch
amazing.
people grow like that, like personally, is crazy. That's
And you
dope.
know what's even crazier is I was going through my phone and I found like the very first videos that we shot with him. I found like
Yeah.
pictures that I took of behind the scenes and stuff because I don't even post none of this
Yeah.
stuff on my Instagram or nothing like that. But
Right.
I just have it all documented in my phone, and I'm just like, wow, like you know,
Dang.
people won't even believe this, you know.
Right.
Like, and then even coming back home to like my family, you know, like shout out to Future and the whole Free Bands. Like, you know,
Mhm.
when they come to Miami, like we pull up on them, and you know, I'll take my family with me, and they're just like, oh, you know, shit, like this is crazy. We're here with Future, like hanging out, you
That's
know. And it's just, you know, it's cool, man. It's definitely a cool feeling. But I just love to see them go off and be successful.
Mhm.
And just had to I think the most important thing is just maintaining that relationship with them. You know, you have the ones that become successful and then you never talk to them ever again, you know.
Right.
But that more so comes from their end
Right.
because, you know, I see a lot of people become successful and shit. We see each other and it's always, hey, what's up, same vibe, you know.
Yeah, you
With
seem
some
like the
people
person
they
that
act like
stays
they
the
don't know
same.
you.
Yeah, you seem
Yeah,
like
nah,
you've been the
definitely.
same way since the beginning. Like I can really feel that off you
100.
for real. Like, you changed at all. So you like, hey, that's them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
definitely. But I mean, I feel like some people, you know, when you start at a certain level and then you go through all the experiences that you're gonna go through, and Drake talks about it a lot in his music. Um, you know, as far as like his experience through the industry, and you know, starting with
Right.
T.I. and Keisha Cole, and you know, then moving on to like meeting Wayne, and you know, doing all that, and then like
Right.
seeing the people who changed, the people who stayed the same. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna happen. You know,
It's
and
like going to high school all 4 years, the same high school. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just
right.
either growing apart, new kids then came, someone to move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's life. You know, that's
Yeah,
definitely life, and you know, you're gonna meet people that you'll remember and know for the rest of your life, and then you'll
hmm
meet people that shit you won't even remember their name.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and you're just gonna keep moving through life like that.
Right.
But I always feel like the goal is you know to stay solid no matter
What?
what happens, you know.
Right.
Stay yourself, you know, like
Got
even when you come around someone that you feel like you have to act different about, like around, like, you know, don't be around them. You
exactly.
know what I mean? Don't be around them because you're
That
not
ain't
being
it.
yourself. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not being you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Well,
What's
speaking of
up?
names, man, what we ask every guest to do before they leave, John, is like shout out 5 people that are like, you know, a result of what we seeing from them. Because, you know, they say we are a sum of the 5 people that we are around, or we communicate with the most. So, you know, if you wouldn't mind, shout out the 5 names, you know, that are some of the reflection of what we seeing right now.
um say my mother, shout out to my mother, shout out to my aunt. Those are two of the people that really inspired me to, you know, be who I am today and have taught me a lot. Um, my boy Molson that you just mentioned not too
Mhm.
long ago.
Yeah.
Um, man, 5 names. Oof, that's a tough one, man.
if,
I
if,
know,
if,
right?
if it's like 3 more, you can go, we'll let you go a little over if you need to. You know what I'm saying? I know that can.
um, I would say shout out to my partner Brandon. You know, he definitely holds it down in Atlanta. And shout out to Bevy, a part of my team that, you know, she's fairly new, but definitely killing shit right now in Atlanta
Right.
for us as a record label.
That's what's up.
And yeah, man, that's the team. Definitely.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know, anything that we can do for you, you know, you like family, you know, so any family idea is a fan of ours. So you can take it away and end it with shouting out any hashtags, @signs, websites, anything for people to find out where to get to you and spend money with you and everything you got going on. You take it away.
Yeah, well, man, I definitely want to shout you guys out, man, and thank you
Oh
for, you know, having me and always making me a part of everything y'all have going on. I
thank
love to see the progress that you guys are doing, and you know, likewise on that, you know, anything you guys need from our end. We just started the podcast room over in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it got locked in. It's booked up for a few months right now,
I
but
know I was trying to get in there a couple weeks ago.
yeah. So soon as that wraps up, you know, it's definitely the doors are open for you guys.
All
You know, and we'll talk about the business end on the back end, but
right.
you know, definitely want to thank you guys for having me, and Diaz
So
for
much.
always including me and everything. And y'all, everybody can follow me on Instagram at Upgrade Your Sound.
Okay.
And shout out to Cruz for that. I always give him a shout out because he was the one who kind of came up with that. But yeah, and then keep a
I
lookout.
got you.
Keep a lookout for Stugo Studios on the go. We should be
Dopest
fully
app
launched.
ever.
Yeah, we should be fully launched by like early October.
Yeah.
You know, and then we going up from there. So
Yeah, you gotta get
that's
that out there.
definitely.
And how do they spell that? How do they spell that?
Stugo.
Got you.
Yeah. So that's all over, you know, Stugo.com, Stugo on Instagram, you know, and that's the business.
Yeah.
And they book the studio time at an event they want to, because you know we're gonna be occupying a lot of the studio, but anytime that we got them, where they book the studio.
I'm trying to lock it in. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so the studio is Gravity House Studios.
Okay.
And you can find us online at gravityhousestudios.com, on Instagram at Gravity House Studios. And then Phantom G Beats. That's my boy's Instagram, my partner's Instagram. So if y'all want to check him out as well.
So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Being a dad, right? You got your son, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of late, you know.
I'm glad what's going on, man.
Thank you so much.
Something to be
Come
proud of.
He's ready to wrap it up.
Oh man. What's up? What's your name?
He being
Like,
shy.
listen.
Being shy now.
He's like, I ain't come for
He'll
this.
get used to the camera soon.
I know, right?
He's like,
man,
I didn't come for this. I didn't come for
man.
this.
Definitely, man. Always.
I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, Diaz, man, let me see that sign back there, bro. Let me see what you got going on back there. Yo,
Did we pick that up?
Yo, that thing is beautiful, man.
He's shining
Already.
Let me tell you, man, I love to see that. I definitely love to see that.
Definitely, man. We'll get up, man. I appreciate you. Definitely.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate y'all.